going to bring in, if we may now, the president of the family, if you don't mind, Michelle, staying with me here, the president of the Family Research Council, Tony Perkins. Tony, great to have you with us. I know this is as it is for all Americans, a special day. Your thoughts, as you heard, particularly from your Family Research Council perch as a pastor yourself and one of the leading evangelicals in the country, to hear that this president believes this nation, all of us, will be protected by God. Did you ever think you would hear that from a president of the United States ever again?
Well, I have to tell you, Lou, it was very encouraging. I had the privilege of being on the platform there with a number of members of Congress, and to hear not only the prayers, the scripture reading, but then the president's unequivocal words of same words you heard on the campaign trail. He's not backed off. But you know what? I think he has the ability to say that God will bless America, because I think he has an intentionality about him to make America a nation that God can bless. And one of the wisest kings that ever reigned, Solomon, in the book of Proverbs, said that right exalts a nation. And I think you're going to see a return to that as he allows religious freedom in this country for Christians and others to live according to their faith. I do believe that God will bless America again.
Yeah, I think, frankly, one could argue we've been very blessed to survive some of what we've had to contend with over the years. I still believe that we've been protected throughout. It may have been tough sledding for lots of folks, but I think that we're on the way. I like the idea that you're describing a righteous path forward. This is also a president who made there was no equivocation in any part of his speech. Do you know the other thing? And there is the vice president saluting as well. I have to say, now you're an old Marine officer. You've got to be very proud of the way those two men are saluting as these military units parade by.
Look, there's already a sense, not just hope that America can be great again, but I think there is a true belief that America can be great again. And I think that's a part of a respect for the military. He talked about that, and I'm a former police officer. He talked about respect for law enforcement. And I saw it this morning as I was there at the Capitol talking to some of the police officers. You could see even a sense among them that there was a return to law and order coming in this country, and he spoke to that again. Again, he was very clear, unequivocal, laying it out just as he had. And Lou, you know that's refreshing, because so often when a politician gets to this level, they start backing away from the very promises that they made. And it was almost amusing at points, as sitting among governors and congressmen and senators, as he started talking about the politicians. It's time to act, no more of this political speak. And I saw some of them, made him a little uncomfortable. But I think he's going to make it, and he's going to make Congress deliver on these promises that have been made.
You know, you made a comment talking about some people may have to learn the hard way, referring to Congress, and particularly the opposition in the form of the Democratic leadership. They may have to learn the hard way going forward how to deal on these issues, because he means to succeed. There is no other option on the table, and I think that it's one of the curious things to me. People continue, after all of this time, as we are celebrating the inaugural of the 45th president of the United States, they continue to underestimate Donald Trump. And I haven't understood that failure to respect him, you know, from the moment he entered the race. It was a strange thing. I understand people had different choices for the nomination. The Republican Party had a different choice for president. But my gosh, they refused to give him his due.
It's what you said earlier. He says what he means, and he means what he says. And about a year ago, I sat in his office in the primary, and he told me he was going to win. He was going to be president. I was not a supporter at that time. And, you know, I didn't necessarily believe him to be true, but I watched him. And you're absolutely right. He is going to do what he says he does, and I have great comfort in that, because the things he says are very much in line with the Republican platform. It's what the American people voted for, the majority of, and I think he's going to get it done, and that's refreshing.
Yeah, it is, and it is refreshing to see a man of action, a man who's never held elective office, has never sought elective office before, stand before the American people as their new president and speak about what he will do, what he will deliver, and he did today with a refreshing absence of the first person singular in his speech. He talked about the people, the nation, what we will achieve together, the destiny that we will reach together. And it's been a very long time since the first person singular has been so rare in a public address, and I think the nation has to appreciate that greatly.
I do, and one of the other things that stuck out in his speech was that as he talked about radical Islamists, the terrorists, he said, we're not just going to go find them, we're going to wipe them off the face of the earth. And again, very clear in his language, and I have to think, in that moment when I heard him say that, I believe where they are, and when they heard that they believe him. I believe that they believe that he is going to do just that.
Yes, and it's the first time that a president, and I'm trying to think back to George W. Bush, but I believe that it is 16 years in which the expression radical Islamist has been absent from the public words of a president, despite yes. the fact that the September 11th occurred, and one would have expected almost immediately. So 16 years, 8 of them Republican, 8 of them Democrat. Now a president has not only named the enemy, but declared that the enemy will be, as you said, wiped off the face of the earth. It is a straightforward language and a straightforward objective that will, there won't be any, let's say, deferral on the objective. He made that very clear. As we wrap up here, Tony, your thought about your take on the day, your take on this president and his beginning.
Well, it's been a great day. Last night I had the privilege of being at the candlelight dinner and opening that event in prayer. This president surrounding himself with many different types of people, but he's not afraid to allow religious freedom back into the public square, and that's refreshing, and I do believe that is going to be something that has a tremendous impact on America, and we're grateful for that and eager to work with him to get that done. And in the meantime, Lou, I got to go, and we're going to have a ball tonight as we celebrate America, a new chapter in American history.
You take care, and you have a great time celebrating a presidency that this country has been waiting for some time.